It's been almost 4 years since Apple made a move that changed MacBooks forever, and this was the MacBook that started it all. In June of 2020, Apple announced that they would be making a transition into their new custom silicon for the Mac. In this video, we are going to dive into the history of Apple Silicon and see just how it changed the tech industry. There were leaks in 2019 that Apple was working on their own ARM-based processors for their laptops in a move to ditch Intel. This was a big move for Apple, which people thought was either going to be a huge failure or a huge success. There was no doubt that Apple's computers were one of the weakest categories in their lineup. The slim form factor along with the hungry Intel chips made it so that they would constantly overheat and end up thermal throttling. Apple needed a way to increase power efficiency while not giving up on performance. This meant engineering a new ARM-based processor that was perfectly fine-tuned and optimized to run on Macs. So Apple created the M1 chip, and it didn't just catch up to Intel's performance with increased power efficiency. It completely blew them out of the water. In November of 2020, Apple held an announcement where they unveiled the first M1 chip, which was the first SoC built for the Mac. Previously, they needed multiple chips to run the processing, I/O, security, and memory management. But now all these technologies have been combined into a single SoC. This change brought increases in performance, efficiency, and simplicity, which made the Mac significantly more promising for anyone from the average user all the way to professionals. Not only was this the first SoC built for the Mac, but it was also the first consumer chip to use the 5nm technology. The M1 chip included two types of cores, high efficiency and high performance. These chips combined significantly reduced the amount of power needed to complete a task. It was so power efficient that it only took 39 watts of power to run it at maximum speeds. However, they did not sacrifice performance in any way, as the high performance cores on the M1 chip packed more performance per core than any consumer chip ever created. Now let's talk about the MacBook Air powered by M1. At the M1 MacBook Air's release, Apple claimed that the CPU was 3.5 times faster than the previous Intel MacBook Air. If we pull up the Geekbench scores, we can see that the M1 MacBook Air has a whopping 5 times increase in the multi-core score. However, this is just a benchmarking test, so real-world results may vary. This is an insane improvement for only 1 year apart from releases. This was not the only upgrade, as the new MacBook Air also increased its graphics performance by 5 times. This doesn't only make it the most powerful MacBook Air, but it also makes it the most powerful laptop in its class ever. In fact, it is more powerful than 98% of Windows laptops on the market. They also introduced 2 times faster SSDs that were made possible by the M1 chip storage controller. Due to the increased efficiency the M1 chip has to offer, the M1 MacBook Air is fanless, allowing for a completely silent design. Not only does this efficiency allow for a fanless design, but this also enables the M1 MacBook Air to have much longer battery life. If we compare the M1 MacBook Air to the previous generation MacBook Air, you get an increase of 6 hours of video playback, for a total of 18 hours. All of these upgrades to the MacBook Air not only matched the performance to Windows laptops in its class, but it completely blew them out of the water when it came to performance per watt. This was all thanks to the M1 chip with its increased power efficiency and performance. Not only did the M1 chip play a significant role in changing Apple laptops, it also played a significant role in the tech industry itself. As we know, the more competition, the better it is for the consumer. Previously, Intel had very little competition when it came to manufacturing chips. This enabled them to innovate less and charge the same prices for similar performance every time they released a new chip. Now, with M1 as a very strong competitor in the industry, Intel is essentially forced to innovate more and produce better processors if they want to continue making sales. This is a great thing for everyone who uses a computer, regardless if it's a Mac or a PC. All of this goes to show just how good innovation is for the consumer whether you use the company's products or not. The more competition there is, the better prices for the consumer and the better overall value. I hope you guys enjoyed this short video that dived into the history of the M1 chip and the M1 MacBook Air. If you liked the video, leave a like and consider subscribing. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.
But first, let's set the mood.
You touch a gun.